It's official. I'm 44 years old. I have no idea where the time went, but in this video, I'm going to give you the 4 things I wish I knew at 24 that has taken me the better part of 44 years to begin to understand and see the value of. You're probably asking, why should I listen to you, Matt? The reality is I'm a blessed man. I have a wife who has been with me for 22 years. We are happily married. And before we were married, we dated for 5 years. That means for 27 years of my time on this world, I've had somebody who has been with me and been a part of the difficulties, the wins, and everything in between. I have 5 kids who absolutely love and adore me, and they treat me with respect and honor. In fact, they were more excited to celebrate my life on my birthday than I was to celebrate my life. And it was truly a treasure. And I have friends who are there for me, not just in the good times, but more importantly, when things get difficult, they get in the muck and the mire with me and they help me find a way through. And I do the same for them. So again, we're going to go through the 4 things I wish I knew. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a 5th for free. The very first thing I wish I knew: the value of a significant other, especially in this day and age. We're so taught that relationships are exchangeable. If you've ever experienced not knowing if you're going to have somebody in your corner, you begin to understand the value of having somebody who is. And I will say this, in my 20s, when I was married and I was committed to my wife and I was watching my friends run around having a different girl on their arm, felt like every week, having more toys, getting to spend their little hard-earned treasure on whatever trinkets and fun things they thought they wanted. It looked like a lot of fun, and it was. But in my 40s, as I'm looking at my children, and I'm receiving calls from other friends who are dealing with a separation or dealing with a child that is being parented by somebody that doesn't hold the same values as them, I understand the treasure that was accrued as me and my wife went through hardships together. That I know and understand her soul, and she knows and understands my soul, and we understand what's of value to us, and we raise our kids accordingly. When you see someone dealing with the aftermath of a spouse who, when they speak into their children, they speak hideous rumors of disgust of how appalling of a person they are, you understand the value of having somebody you do life with. I could not see it at 24, and no one ever told me. Everybody who ever had suggested that marriage was of value went ahead and did it for religious reasons, and they usually did it through scare tactics. No one said what I am experiencing, that my friends and people I see around me aren't, is so valuable. Fight for it. I am sharing that in the hopes that maybe you'll have a clarity that I didn't have that'll make the fight easier. So that's the first thing. Find the person you're wanting to do life with and fight to maintain and give them value. The second one is like the first, but it is different. And hang around to the end because there's a twist. Value people who value you. In my 20s, I couldn't see it then, but I see it now. I was working to try to establish that I was significant, that I had value, that I was worth something. And I was trying to prove this through attaining success and means. I was chasing value and worth from people who couldn't see it. Meaning, not even from a negative position, just there was no relationship, so they had no reason to attribute me as having value. But in my 40s, one of the things I started to notice, last year was the beginning of it where it really started to register. At 43, my birthday, my kids asked me what I wanted, and I let them know the only thing I truly wanted was to walk our property and vision cast, to dream about what the future could look like at our home. And they spent the time walking with me. And they did it out of love, not out of obligation. And I began to see and realize that in life, you see it all the time with work, the obligations to perform for somebody who's going to give you a paycheck. But you overlook the child who's offering their love. And I'm grateful that in my 40s, I see the value of the people who value me. My friends, the ones who are there for me, not the ones who applaud and disappear, but the ones who, when I'm going through it, I call them and go, man, I screwed up. I found myself blah, 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 whatever I'm doing, struggling with finances or caught up in a business dilemma. I don't know what to do. I'm in over my head. And they're going, no problem. Let's work the problem. Let's figure out the solution. Those people are so valuable, but it's easy to devalue what we have familiarity with. Here's the simplest example. The dollar you have in your bank account seems less valuable than the dollar that's out in the world you have yet to get your hands on. But until you actually have value for the dollar you have in your bank account as much as the dollar that's out in the world, you have no business gaining more dollars, because you will squander them, not realizing their full value and potential. And it's the same thing that happens in relationships. So when I say value those who value you, I'm not saying because they valued you, treat them as valuable. I'm saying because they're intrinsically valuable, treat them valuable. And if you're privileged enough to see a person's precious value, you're close enough, don't waste it. Otherwise, when that next person comes into your life, you'll treat them the same way you treated people who were close enough to see your value in the past, and you'll constantly burn through relationships. But if you can see the value and you can value those who value you, others, when they get close to you, will feel value too. And you'll find yourself having an ever-expanding circle of people who both lift up and give opportunity for you to lift up. So that's number 2. Number 3 is one of the most important lessons I've ever experienced, and the vast majority of people who exist on the planet have no clue. Love people for who they are, not who they used to be and not who you wish they were. This happened as a result of my oldest daughter was growing up, and she was right at the age where she was moving from being a little girl into a young lady. And I remember looking at her, and there was a thought that crossed my heart where I went, oh, I miss my little girl, my little baby. I had a thought cross my heart. If you try to hold on to who she was, you'll miss who she is, and you won't be able to see who she's becoming. Yes, the moments before were great, but you'll miss the moments that are great, trying to hold on to the moments you'll never get back. And it wasn't until I was in that moment that I realized that's what most people do. Whether it's their children, their friends, their spouses, they see and remember who they once were, and they try to get that person. They try to find that person in the person that's sitting before them, but they don't hold the same experiences. They have new life. My wife is not the girl I met. We met when we were 16 and 17. She's not the girl I married. We were in our young 20s. Neither of those people had experienced the struggle of raising children, the woes of financial worry, the mourning and loss of a parent. We hadn't experienced the world turning its back on us and us being left in the circumstance of we have to figure it out on our own. If I try to get her to be that fun-loving kid who had never known struggle, and I expect her to live up to that standard, I'm going to miss the steadfast woman who has a level of strength that the first one had yet to develop. And I'm given the privilege of loving her for who she is today and cheering her on to who she gets to be tomorrow. It's the same with my friends, right? If I try to relive the relationships and friendships I had with my friends in my 20s, there's certain friends that I gave value to that I still cared deeply for. But if I was to go ahead and treat them based off of our relationship in our 20s, I wouldn't be doing them the justice of the work that they put in their 30s and now and into their 40s. Holding on to what was causes us to miss what is and gets our eyes off of what can be. Don't do it. Number 4, and before you leave because you think you know what I'm saying, I hope you'll hang around long enough to actually hear what I am saying. Find God. I am convinced that we put rest and peace on tombstones because we hope that when people die, they find rest and they find peace. When I was putting myself through hell, I know that everything I was doing was in an effort for me to find a sliver of peace. And when you live a lifestyle of hell, 2 seconds of peace today is worth more hell tomorrow because you're already in hell. I had an encounter with Jesus where I met the Prince of Peace and peace came into my life. And it was years later that I discovered what rest was. And I was just reminded of it again. Rest it's almost like seeing the hand of God work in your life where you realize it's not all on your shoulders. It's different than peace. Peace is knowing he's no longer angry with you. Rest is seeing him at work in your life and being able to partner with what he's doing in a way that allows you to gain energy as you go through. So when I say find God, I'm not saying find religion. I'm saying find a relationship with the Father. And the 5th bonus, have kids. I can't believe I'm saying that. I actually didn't think I wanted kids at all. But part of what I've been experiencing, yes, there was watching my kids celebrate my birthday, but even more special was when I got to take my 17-year-old out on a daddy-daughter date. Took her to our fine restaurant just to be able to show her what it looks like for a man to treat her well. And being able to see the young lady she's become, the confidence she has, the understanding of who she is that I never had. It has been such a privilege to my soul, watching as my children see themselves becoming someone they want to be. It goes beyond just your children, because to me it opened up being able to see others as my kids too. I know it sounds crazy, but there's so many people when I look at them, I can see what it feels. I feel what it feels like to have a father's heart for them. So I can treat them in a way that I was incapable of before. So those are the things that I've learned in the last 44 years. I'm excited for what this year holds. But I hope you found value. And if you've made it this far, please like, subscribe, and promote. Hype this video. The more this gets traction, the more I can pour out and share with others. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, and God bless. Bye.